Happy New Year! It's the start of a new year, so we're going to talk this week about how you start your days when you're at Disney. This is episode 62. I'm Soraya,
I'm Aurora.
and together we're just your average Disney travelers. Okay, so starting your day at Disney. We're going to talk about a few things that maybe we do to start our days. And this is how we start our days. It's not necessarily how everyone should, but this is what we like to do. And it's not going to be that every time we do this, it's going to be, these are just like our preferences.
Yeah.
Right? All right. So we're going to start at the beginning. Aurora,
Well,
what time do you like to get up when you're at Disney?
9.
9 o'clock?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because I don't like waking up early.
Yeah. And even though 9 o'clock is often when parks are opening, you just want to roll out of bed at that time.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Because you just stay later.
Stay
It's
later.
nicer. Everyone's rushing the beginning of the day. But if you just stay later, a lot of the families will leave because they have kids. And so it's only, it's just people without families that are there.
Did you know that at Disneyland, the parks tend to stay open later than Disney World?
I did not know that, but I do know that Disneyland stays open till midnight.
Not necessarily all of the time, but yes, it does
Well,
often.
we were there.
Yes, that's true. When we were there. When were we there? Yeah, you're right. Even though it was part of that time, like Thursday was during the week. Was it open till midnight that night too?
I'm pretty sure it was open every night.
Yeah, it might have been because they had already started the holiday season technically. I don't know. It's not always open that late, but yes, it is often open later at Disneyland parks than at the Disney World parks, which is I was surprised at, but it kind of does make sense too. Disney World has got so much more of a bubble and it has all those resorts and you can go back and enjoy those. But anyhow, yeah, so you like to get up later.
Yes.
I, surprisingly, not surprisingly, like to get up earlier. My natural alarm clock's going to wake me up anyways. I always wake up probably somewhere between 6 and 7.
Well, that's a good thing because I often wake up early in the morning, but then you wake up and you're like, oh, I can just sleep more.
Yeah, I just have a harder time going back to sleep, and even if I do, it's not usually for a super long time.
Well, yeah, but you still get rest and you just feel happier, even when you're awake.
Okay, you got to share your part. Now it's my turn to share my part. I just wake up early, and so for me, I like to get going early too. Also, I do hear you on that staying later is a good way to spend your time in the parks, but my personal opinion is you get there early. You take a break in the middle of the day when it's the busiest, and then you go back again for the rest of the night, and then you can get the best of all worlds. You get the early time, which is usually a little slower, like that first hour or two of the park opening. Prime time, man. You can get on a lot of attractions. And then the same is at the end of the day. The last couple of hours of the park being open usually is also prime time. So I like to get there early. I like to do the rope drop. That's my personal preference. I know you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one part where we're not as perfectly compatible. All right, so what is your routine when you get up and get ready for the parks once you're up, what time it is?
Okay, so I roll out of bed, sometimes literally.
It's true.
Yeah. And then I get ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just get dressed and...
Yep, and then I'm just like, okay, let's go.
All right, so... Yeah, I mean, I like to, if I can, I usually will take my shower in the evenings. That way in the morning I don't have to. That gives me a little bit of extra time of being lazy or whatever. That time you were talking about where you wake up but you don't want to get going yet.
Yeah.
So I try to do that where I don't have to take a shower that morning. Although sometimes, obviously, I do. So it just depends. But yeah, get up, get going. I check my bags. I'll make sure to check and see, if right now we don't have virtual lines at Disneyland, but in this case it would be more like making sure we're ready with our traveling party and everything for Disney Genie Plus, so that we're ready to go so that when the park opens we can start getting those lightning lanes and stuff if we're going to do that.
Yeah.
I haven't done this yet. This is all new. We haven't gone there while they had that. But like thinking about how we've done virtual lines in the past and Max Pass and things like that, that's what I usually do.
Yep.
All right. So what?
You're actually responsible.
I'm actually responsible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thank goodness I'm the only one in this group.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, what do you put in your bag or what do you take with you when you're going to the
My
parks?
phone.
Okay, yep, that's important.
Tickets, whether it's the room card thing.
The room key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a park ticket if needed. Because just in case the app goes down, whatever, they definitely want the park ticket.
Yeah, it's always good to keep the park tickets on hand. If you get your tickets like online and so you don't have the actual physical ticket, once you get there they'll print you off a ticket and hand it to you, a paper ticket. So I always just keep that with us just in case, like you said, if the everything goes down, you can't use your phones to access electronically, then you can at least do that, but otherwise you usually can just use your phone. So
Yep.
Yeah. Anything else you take?
I would bring sunglasses,
Yes,
water, that I usually just steal yours or make Dad carry it.
that's true. You hardly ever bring water, actually, even though
There was one time
yeah,
I did,
one time.
and my shoulder hated it.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure I also brought like a bag. Oh no, it was just that and my pin trading.
Yeah, you had both of those.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyways.
All right. Is there anything else you take?
If I remember, not pin trade.
Pins to trade.
Yeah, pins to trade.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it.
Okay. Those are the essentials for you.
Yeah, and if it was like one day when I am responsible enough to pay, I would probably bring money and
Some form of payment. Yeah.
probably bring my
But for
ID
you
when
as
I
a
have
kid,
it.
that's not necessary at
Yeah.
this point. Okay.
Well, currently, no.
Yeah,
I just
currently
leave
not.
that to you.
Okay, so what I usually do is I usually wear a crossbody bag, like so that because I like to have my hands free and I like it close. I like it right on my hips. It's not behind me. I always have I can tell if somebody was to start snooping in it. You know, I always get worried about that with backpacks, like somebody behind you in line. But like, really, who goes to Disneyland to do that? But
Probably
still,
many.
I doubt it. But anyhow,
Maybe not specifically. But.
Yeah. But anyhow, so I like to have those crossbody bags. And so in my bag, I don't carry like my whole wallet because that's just heavy and I don't need everything in it. So I usually will just take out, like you were mentioning, the ID and like one credit card. The essentials? Is that what you're saying?
Essentials. Is that how you say
Essentials.
Okay.
Yes.
It's a hard word to say.
All right. So, yes. So I will take those essentials. And like you mentioned, the tickets, the room key, that kind of stuff. For sure, water, which again, if we have Dad, thank goodness we put a lot of that on him. But if it's just you and me, I'm the one that carries the water, usually. And what do I take? I like to wear ears. I don't always wear ears, but a good half of the time at least wear ears. Usually a little bit more than half. You actually do too a lot, but
Yeah.
and definitely the sunglasses, like you said. I also make sure that I have whatever I like to have on me, medications like my ginger pills and some ibuprofen and Excedrin and now my relief band. So those things that I know are going to help me be more comfortable through the day. So I make sure all of that's there. In fact, a lot of this stuff I try to do the night before. I try to get it all kind of ready before we leave, before I go to bed. So that way when I get up in the morning, I just really have to grab my bag. So, okay, so we don't usually take snacks.
Nope.
Anymore. We used to do it more, but nowadays we don't.
Yeah.
Taking snacks means we're eating less churros, and that's just not right. So
It means we don't have a good reason, like we don't have an excuse to get food.
yeah,
It's like, we have food,
but
why should you get some?
But I want churros, so don't bring the
Exactly.
snacks, and then I have to buy churros.
Yeah, it's like a parent telling you, no, we have food at home.
Yeah. Okay, so do you like to eat breakfast at the hotel?
Usually.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
they have one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So if the hotel has a really good breakfast, then we absolutely will eat breakfast there. If it's just one of those grab and go bags, that doesn't
That's
really
like bringing
excite me.
snacks.
Yeah, that's basically bringing snacks, and they're not usually for me the convenient kind of snack I'm going to want to have. So if we are at a place that only has a grab and go bag or doesn't even have any type of breakfast, then I am more likely to be bringing in some fruit and granola bars or like trail mix or something like that, and use that as like a mid-morning snack instead of eating breakfast.
I just would not bring anything.
Because you would eat whatever I brought.
And even then, I don't always eat
That's
that.
true. We're not huge breakfast people at our house. We don't always have breakfast at our house. A lot of times we just aren't hungry. So if the hotel is offering it, I definitely take advantage of it. But if the hotel's not offering it, like I said, we don't really worry about it. Sometimes we might have some stuff to have in the hotel room, especially if Dad's with us, because Dad's more likely to want a breakfast, like some oatmeal or muffin or something.
Yeah.
But otherwise, we just take some mid-morning snacks.
Yep.
Okay, so how early do you like to get to the parks, ideally?
At least by 10.
Okay, so you get up at 9, you roll out of bed,
Yeah.
you get dressed, and you get
Maybe
yourself
like
down there.
9:45.
And so you're getting there about an hour or so after you get up.
I don't know how long it would take.
Okay.
So, like, maybe, like...
But so, like, you could like to get there fairly early, because a lot of times the parks do open around 9. That's not a hard, fast rule.
Yeah.
The times change, but a lot of times it's around 9 o'clock. Unless you're, like, there in the summer, and then it's easily 8 o'clock. But, so you like to get there about an hour or so after.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you have reasonings for this?
I don't want to wait too long and get less time. I also would not like to be there right when it's everything's long, like all the waits are long because everyone's there now.
Are you talking about for later?
Like in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to like, oh well, it's 1 o'clock, time to go, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be able to get my sleep and be able to roll out lazily, but then once I'm up,
You want to get
be
going.
there.
Yeah. No wasting time.
Like, I'm
Let's just go
already
ahead.
up. Might as well be there.
Yeah. I think that's my reasoning because I know I'm already up early. I might as well get going.
I think we just
Our
I think
already
I-
ups
I
are
think-
at different times.
Yeah, I think our definition of being up is different.
That's true.
My up is when I'm out of bed.
Mine's when I'm awake and I know I'm not getting back to
Yeah,
sleep.
mine is just like when I am completely out of bed. I'm like, okay, now I'm up.
Okay. So I obviously y'all know I would rather be there before the park opens. I like to be there for rope drops. So for me, if say for instance the park is opening at 9, I would like to be down there sometime between 8 and 8:30.
Ugh, that's so early.
The earlier the better
Why?
because they do let you into the parks before the park opens, and then you're positioned in a place where you can go straight to a ride and have no wait. Like when we went on Spider-Man without a wait because we rope dropped it, and whereas later the wait's an hour and a half, and so for me, I like that you can get a lot
They're
done.
that early.
But if you get there later, then already if you wait for an hour, the line's gonna be up to where it's about an hour wait.
Well,
50
yeah,
minutes.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying from 8 to 8:30 for a park that opens at 9.
If you want to be at the front of the pack, if you want to be at the front of the crowd when you're doing rope drop, you need to be
You
near.
just run.
Nope, you're not allowed to run.
Oh yeah.
Not allowed to run. So anyhow, yeah. All right, so we have gotten to the parks at our own times. Do you like to use the Genie? Well, now it's Genie Plus and Lightning Lanes and stuff. Would that be part of your morning plan to get that? Of course, you are like, well, I let my mom get that because then she pays for it.
Yes.
Yeah, to utilize the quick passes to get on the lines faster.
Yeah.
And I assume we will use these at least often. I don't know about every time because we always did Max Pass and
Yeah.
it's going to be
Especially
similar.
during the afternoon, where it's the busiest.
Yeah, which is when I want to go and take a break.
Yeah.
So
Basically.
so that would be part of our morning as well then. So when the park opens, you get your first lightning lane assignments. And so you start doing that. So that would definitely be part of our morning plan. Even if you weren't getting to the park then until an hour later when you got up, you would want to, if we were following your plan, if we were getting up at 9, we would right away want to get on there and get a lightning lane so that way we can just start stacking them. So, all right. So, last question. Well, this isn't really the last question because this is going to be a two-parter.
Oh.
Where do you start if you're at Disneyland?
Before it used to be Disneyland.
No. I mean, like if you're at Disneyland Park, if you're going to the Disneyland Park, where do you start?
Oh!
Like what land, what ride? Where do you go?
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking about which park.
No.
Okay. I gotta think. Okay, well, going with my plan. Well, I guess if we had the Genie, whatever it's called.
Genie Plus.
Yeah, Genie Plus. We could get. Does Rise have a Genie Plus, or is that only limited? Not limited, individual.
It's individual.
Okay, so I'll probably go.
And it's $20.
That's true.
Crazy.
Okay, I would go to Adventureland.
Okay.
And ride Indiana Jones.
Yeah, that's a good one to start.
Yeah. And if I'm lucky and it's not busy yet, I won't need a Genie.
You won't need a lightning lane?
Yeah, I won't need a lightning lane.
Because that one, it does have lightning lanes.
I think we should just call them double L's.
Double L's.
Lightning lane, that's a mouthful.
Mouthful is a mouthful, apparently.
It is.
All right. So you're starting in Adventureland.
Yeah.
It's
a good place to start. It's very lively.
Yeah, it is. And as long as we're not having early entries yet, that is a good place to start. I think if and when the early entry comes back, to where they have the parks open for whether it's an hour or at Disney World they've changed it to half hour early, that land does not go during that time. So that would change those plans. But as long as the park is actually open, official park open, Adventureland is a great place to start. It's always good to kind of go to the left too, because a lot of people go to the right and start in Tomorrowland.
Yeah.
And so your crowds might not be as bad going left.
Let's go.
For me, I don't know. Man, it really just depends on...
You're rope dropping. So.
I'm rope dropping. And so for me, I would say right now, my rope drop, I would be tempted to try to rope drop back to Rise.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And get Rise quick and over with, done early while the line's not so long. And then after doing Rise, I make my way back towards Adventureland, because those are good rides. Like Jungle Cruise right now is pretty popular, and so doing that earlier is smart as well.
What did they... No, never mind. That's a question for later.
Okay.
That's a completely different topic.
Yeah.
We might take a while on it or not. I don't know. And there goes my voice.
I think that so right now I would do that. Rope dropping those big rides, especially when it's so far back, is a little bit of a pain, because that's a long way to hustle and try to stay in the front of the crowd, and inevitably you're not going to be exactly in the front. But I think that still, if you are with that first rush, you're going to have basically a no wait. It might be a couple minutes, but it's not going to be very long. And so, yeah, that's what I would do. Even if we were planning to spend the $20 per person to ride it later, I would still do it, because then you could ride it twice that day. Do it once with the rope drop to get it with no wait or very little wait, and then again later with Lightning Lane for little to no wait.
See, I would do that, but a day we're starting in DCA, so then you're not rope dropping. So then you might not get it 2 times per a day, or like in one day, but you're able to spread it out, because like $20 is a lot. And so, like,
so you're saying you would save to pay it on a day you're starting at DCA, so that way you can go later.
Yeah.
You can still do it once a day. You just rope drop it on days you're going to Disneyland.
Yeah, and so then I am able to spread it out, and
that makes sense too.
Save money a little bit if you're kind of like, oh, let's do it every day.
Yeah.
And then when I can rope drop it, I will. So then you'll just kind of spread it out, and then you still get it like once every day.
Yep, that's true.
But then you spend less money.
That's true, too. Yeah, and especially since at Disneyland or California Adventure, I don't know that I necessarily feel like we would need to pay for any of those lightning lanes right now. They have Web Slingers and Radiator Springs Racers, and again...
Rope drop for Web Slingers.
Yeah.
And single ride for
Yeah.
single rider for
Radiator
racers.
Springs Racers. Yeah, and that works for our family because our family doesn't have little kids. If you have little kids, you can't single rider.
No.
They have to be 7 or older to ride by themselves, and so you can't have anyone. And some 7-year-olds aren't going to want to ride by themselves, so there'll be some families that won't work. They'll have to pick which one they rope drop, and that will just be dependent on the family. But
Yeah.
anyways, yeah. So I think those are our plans. So now at Disney California Adventure, where would you start?
Marvel
Yeah.
Campus, Avengers Campus.
You're just making up the name as you go.
I was ready for it, but then I forgot the name, so I was just like, Marvel.
We all know what you're talking about. So
Yeah.
do you mean then Web Slingers?
No, Guardians.
Guardians.
I want to be able to rope drop it.
You can do that. I don't know that it's necessary. That is
I'm saying I won't be able to
you
rope
won't
drop.
rope drop it. I was just
'Cause
about
I
to say you
can't.
aren't getting there that early.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're getting there an hour after it opens, you're going. That's actually a decent choice. It's still usually probably fairly low weights
Guardians was always slow when we went.
when you went. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that was
Except for the one time it said it would be an hour. It was 30 minutes.
which is still not that bad.
Yeah, it was our longest time we had to wait for that.
All right, so that's where you're starting. Okay, for me, I'm gonna probably still rope drop. Then, like what we did last time, I would probably rope drop Web Slingers, and then single rider line Radiator Springs Racers, and then I would head over to Pixar Pier and check out like Incredicoaster. Although I might actually do Toy Story first because Toy Story line, if I'm going to do it, that line gets long.
Yeah.
Last time we didn't do it because the line just got so long and it stayed that long.
It was also down for a little bit.
Yeah. Well, and also now Lightning Lanes are available, so I probably would be using Genie Plus, and actually I would still rope drop and do single rider line for those first two because those are the individual attractions. But everything else I will have already had probably a Lightning Lane reservation for probably like.
Dang, you're just really planning out your morning.
Oh, I'm a planner. This is just
Yeah.
what I do.
He's like, where are you gonna start? I'm like,
And I give you the first 5 rides,
Yeah.
and you're like, just an area.
He's like, yeah, you're gonna do this, and then we're gonna go over to this land.
Anyways, okay. Make fun of me. Mock me.
I'm teasing. That's
Yes.
different.
Okay.
I'm teasing you with love.
All right.
And
So as we start this new year, Aurora is doing it, teasing me with love. And I'm just being the planner that I am. Okay.
Do you expect any different from me?
No, not really. All right. So that's how we would start our days. We are different in our preferences, and poor Rory just ends up having to do whatever I tell her we're doing.
Yeah. That's okay.
It's okay.
It's still at Disneyland. Get her going rides.
Yep, and you still have fun. And we do now usually have at least one day we're sleeping in, because that's just the way it works.
Yep.
But anyways, yep. So that was fun. How do you start your day? You can share with us share with us in your comments and stuff. Tell us what you do for your days at Disney. But and that's it for us, I think, this week. We are looking forward to this year. We're going to be starting some new series. We'll talk about that next week. And that's it. We'll talk to you next week.
See you.